All right, we'll ask everybody to stand. We'll ask Brother Mr. Puckett to lead us in a word of prayer this morning. Get us started.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this another day of life, Lord. We just thank you for the opportunity, Father, you give us to come out and visit with each other today, Lord, and do the work for the county, Father. Lord, just look over us and guide us and protect us, Father. And Lord, help us make the right decisions, Father, according to what we need to do for the county, Lord. Just be with each one as we travel and go about our ways, Father. Bless those who are sick and less fortunate, Lord. All those in the hospitals and nursing homes, Lord, just be with them in a mighty way, Father. Forgive us, Father, where we fail you. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Like we said, we thank everyone for being here this morning for our February 23rd, 2026 regular scheduled county commission meeting. We have all 4 commissioners present, so we do have a quorum to do business. Do we have anybody from the public that would like to make any comments this morning? I see Miss Clark is here. You would like to make a presentation this morning?
Yes.
All right, come on, you on the floor.
Oh, okay. First up, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
I wasn't quite sure how many would be here, so I got you some handouts here. Of course, you've got to always have handouts.
Thank you.
Maybe one extra, but anyway. This is just for your information. You know, at mental health, we do have the sub-counseling. I'm the sub-counselor there. The one thing I say about mental health, we all have it. Some of it may be better than others, but we all have mental health, and we all need to take care of that mental health. And it's very important. And there's definitely instances where some people have a crisis, and we never know what causes that or why it is, but there can be medical crisis, or if there's substance use involved, there's substance use crisis. Okay, main thing we have, and as I'm sure Sheriff can relate to this, is that we have legal drugs. These are drugs that people are prescribed. These people are prescribed these drugs, but as we know, that sometimes that they overuse these drugs. And when that happens, there's going to be a problem, you know. Then the other problem is if they mix these drugs. So then these drugs are mixed with other drugs that are not legal. And so you have the overuse and maybe the possibility of mixed drugs. So you have a crisis. You know, most of the time, police are called. Crisis team from mental health is called a lot, especially if they know that these are prescription drugs and that these are people with mental health crisis that have a lot of mental health problems. And so you find, and I know Sheriff can relate to this as well and fill you in, I'm sure, on a lot of instances, but then you have a lot of, with mental health, they don't understand sometimes. So there's a lot of communication problems, and I'm sure, like I said, the Sheriff can relate to that. You go out, he sends his officers out, or either it's town officers. When they're sent out, a lot of times they have trouble communicating with them. Well, it is the amount of drugs. It's the mixture of drugs, the amount of drugs, and maybe their mental health crisis. So mental health is a big crisis. And I'm glad that the stigma is starting to change, because a lot of people, they look at, well, you know, they're mental. You know, and I mean, that is the stigma that they have. Well, you know, they've got mental problems. Okay, they may do, you know, but we need to be more compassionate for those, you know, I'm of the, my policy is that there, but by the grace of God, there go I, you know. So, I mean, you know, it can happen to anybody, and it can be growing with a medical condition. My husband's suffering with a medical condition right now that has brought on dementia. And so now we're battling that, not only the medical problem, but the dementia problem. So I see that, and I've seen that so many times that's played out. So I'm really glad that mental health is becoming, or it's coming to the forefront now, that people are realizing it's a real crisis for everybody. It doesn't just affect the family that it's in, but it affects everybody else and all those that have to come in and help. So it's a big wide thing, you know. And you know, I'd love to see more substance abuse support groups. That's a big need. We're here in Vernon. Vernon is very lucky to have, and Sullivan as well. They have, I think, 2 at Sullivan and 3 here, I think. And you know, right. South end of the county, we ain't doing nothing. I mean, you know, I've been to churches, I've been to places, and I've talked to them about, you know, hey, let's get these support group, you know, groups going, because, you know, we really need them, and especially in our end of the county. So there's a need for them, you know. And yes, a lot of people do jump in, okay, yeah, we're going to do this, and then they play out, you know, and that doesn't help the people who need the support. It doesn't help them. So, you know, I encourage you, if you know anybody that would be interested in doing that. I know I spoke with Kim Edwards. She's so great. I mean, she's great here. And I know sometimes she made the post on Facebook. I saw that, you know, sometimes you wonder if you're doing any good. You know, hey, look, I can tell you one thing. You're there. You show up. You know, so you make them matter. And that's what it's all about. You know, so that has my heart. I just want people to realize that people need support. And that's what that's what we try to do at mental health. My next thing is schools. Schools. Y'all, schools are in trouble. You know, these kids are sneaking around at PE. They're going out there on their, you know, nobody, I'm not knocking schools, please don't understand me, I'm not doing that. But you have so many kids and you have so many teachers. They can't watch them every minute of the day. And teenagers, you tend to let them go along their way, and because they're supposed to know what they're doing. They do. They know what they're doing. They know what they're sneaking around doing. They know how to do it. You look for a group that's gathered up together, somebody in there's got a vape. Vapes are killing our young people. They are killing our young people. And the sad thing about it is adults who vape. I'm not getting on nobody here. I don't mean to be that way, but I'm just telling you, it's killing you. It's killing you. I had the privilege of working on a study, and it's been over 10 years now. And I think this is so amazing for me and where I am now. I worked on this study that they are actually basing this information off that they're getting now off of it. I went all over the United States. I went a lot of places, Nebraska, Colorado. I spent a lot of time in Louisiana, Mississippi. You know, they sent me everywhere. I spent a lot of time in Tennessee. So they sent me everywhere to interview these people. And they were randomly selected. That's how you do studies. And they were randomly selected. And these people were selected to take my computer and put their information in. And I asked them all kinds of questions about smoking. I didn't even know what vaping was. Over 10 years ago, I didn't even know what that was. We went for a whole week training in Bethesda, Maryland, for them to tell me what vaping was and hookahs were and all this kind of stuff. I had no idea. You know, I'm from the South. I don't do that kind of stuff. And I didn't know anything about it, you know, so I had to get an education about it. And so they asked and they asked teenagers as well as adults about these things. And so they compiled that. And now, you know, of course, I got to say, in my training, they said, well, you know, there's vaping, you know, and they vape this stuff in. I'm like, well, that don't sound like a good idea. And that's before I went to college, okay? So I'm thinking, that don't sound like a good idea to me. And it wasn't, you know. And so now they're coming back and saying, oh, yeah, vaping is not good. It's not the new smoking thing. It don't fix smoking. No, it creates more problems. You know, that popcorn lung and stuff like that, that's for real. And you know what? What the kids don't understand, they're putting this in their lungs, and it ain't coming out. Just because you blow out a vape or blow out whatever it is, you know, it's not coming out of the lungs. That is something you put in there, and it's going to cling and stick. And so you're going to have a lot of, you know, now they're in high school, but like 35 and 40, they're going to need lung transplants. you know, they're going to be able to, or they're going to need to have medical help. You know, it's that serious, you know. But anyway, I said that, all that to say this. At the schools, they're slipping out around PE. They're out there, you know, they're pretty much unmonitored because and as long as they're behaving, teachers fine with that, sure, you know. And I've done it myself as a sub. I mean, you know, you see kids out there and they're doing their thing and you think everything's fine, but guess what they're doing? They're finding out ways to go use the state, and they're finding out how to congregate and get together and do these things. So vaping is a very big problem at our schools. Now, it's supposed to be illegal, right? Vapes are illegal, right?
No,
Vape pens?
they're legal,
Okay, so vape pens are still legal. They can still buy them here.
as far as I know. I mean, they got a whole store here in Vernon.
Okay. But now, children are not supposed to be able to buy them, right?
No, they never.
Okay. Here's the thing. Adults are buying those pens for them. It's sad that an adult thinks that they need to go make money off of teenagers. But they are buying these pens, giving them to teenagers. The teenagers take them to school, and they are doling out, selling them. And so the kids make money, and the adults make money. Ain't that sad? Mm-hmm. Now, that's sad. But that's
It's
what
sad.
happens.
That's what the world's coming to, though. It's just sad. Yeah. Well, I agree with everything you've said. You know, we need help somewhere, but I don't know. No one seems to care, you know.
Well, and that's it. Until we get really, I guess, pretty much until we get congregated enough to get together and decide that we want to do something and change this, you know. The schools, I know they're doing all they can do. I mean, hey, I've talked to counselors and I've talked to people, and I know that they are, you know, they care, you know. And it's not for a lack of care, but it's a lack of having resources and things like that. And, you know, look, we know that all boils down to what? Money. Yeah. Everybody needs money. It's totally does. So anyway, I'm just saying this is, you know, this is a problem. I gave you a handout. I'm sorry, I don't mean to take up too much time.
No, I was going to get with you after the program, after our
Okay.
meeting. I've got some stuff I can share with you. But go ahead and finish your.
Okay.
handout
I just
there,
didn't
and
want to be taking up too much time.
No, we'll move on here in just a second.
Okay. All right. So then you cut. My last point is the adults. And like I said, the adults are using marijuana. I gave you the handout there about marijuana. The paths. It talks about the 3 paths. Some people, we know teenagers, they're going to try anything, okay? Some of them try it, not a problem for them. They get to be adults, go get out of college, start getting in the work field and everything. Marijuana is not a problem for them. They don't want to do that anymore. They move on, you know? But then there's some who don't. There's some who, oh, hey, I like this, you know? And so, like I said, the handout I gave you talks about that, and that's something that we would give to. In fact, I've got an adolescent right now that I'm counseling, and she's starting this packet, and it talks about, you know, your feelings and everything that goes along with it, and the dangers of it and how it does. And the one thing I tell my adults is like, okay, it lulls your brain. I don't care what you say. It may make you feel great, and you may like it, but you know what? It's lulling that brain. So when you get to be in your 50s, 60s, and 70s, guess what? You're not going to be as sharp as you would be, you know. I mean, it dulls the brain. And it can do that for you, you know. So it's so important to realize the dangers before you get there, before you try it, before you get hooked on it, and things like that. And the last thing I got you a handout for your, I said I did. Yes. This is just our handout from mental health. You can fold it up. It goes into 3 folds, but I didn't fold it up for you because I let you do that for yourself. And let me just give a few, and you can just pass them all
Oh,
out.
well, thank you.
And I'll give it to you all as well. But I just wanted to be here today to bring awareness and to let you know that we are there to help. You know anybody, you see anybody, if there's things that you think we can help with, reach out to us, you know. Yes, I do the substance use and all that. What I find is though that feeds into the mental part of it, the adult part of mental health. So we have a great lady, Octavia, that she does really great, and she's the one who usually called out on crisis and things like that. But she does really good with adult mental health, and so she's our counselor for that. And so if you just know anybody or, you know, come across a situation where you think somebody can benefit from our services, just, you know, just recommend us to them, and then we'll be glad to help in any capacity that we can. So I thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate what y'all do. Thank you. And if you do have just a minute to stick around, I sit in on a pretty good program last Thursday that it might go hand in hand with what you, so we'll get together on that. Thank you. Right. Let's go on, and has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from last meeting?
Yes, sir.
I'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thought I heard Johnny.
I did. You said not
Thank you. Okay, we'll go into a report from our staff and elected officials. Mr. Martin Gottwald, Sheriff.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's been a busy couple of weeks. First thing out of my report I have is that we came out of our audit, the outbreak of last Friday. We had one finding that they noted on us that we're not doing daily deposits on our funds that we take in, and I don't know if we'll ever be completely compliant with that. And what I've done since they've mentioned this is I've bought a safe, and I have it located inside the sheriff's office itself. So it's behind locked doors, inside a 900-pound safe. So that's kind of my compromise on that. And if Carrie's not there, the deposits aren't going to happen. So I can't guarantee 100% of that. And I talked with them. I said, well, what just happens if I don't get compliant? They said, well, you get written up again. Okay.
But that is, I mean, just as clarification from my purposes, I mean, they require you to deposit daily. Is that what they're saying? And you just aren't doing that because of the manpower staffing?
Issues, and maybe $20.
Yeah, I got you.
Honestly,
Kind of crazy sound like, but I mean, it's just a policy thing. Okay, thank you.
Graham Roofing came by, well, a subcontractor with Graham came by and they pulled the measurements. So I think we're getting really close to going forward. We're getting that roof fixed. So about time those pipes are all beat up and flapping around and look pretty bad, but I'm assuming about it. And they said it could take up to 6 weeks to get that standing seam stuff formed. So it's kind of an unusual, more old-fashioned application, very durable.
Yeah.
But it's not anybody can just do it. So that's going forward. When we talk about mental health commitments, the judge is aware we did 2 at one time last week. Actually, our hearing was last week. It was 7 days prior to that. And we're seeing a bunch more of that. And I want to commend mental health and Octavia and their staff. They've been super with us.
Really
It's
good.
very much appreciated what you guys do for us. And that's coming more and more. The issue is you have people that are mentally ill due to drug use, well, then they're considered to be an addict first, and there's just, they don't fit in some specific area. I think Baptist, the mental health unit there's got 7 beds, and we're competing for this whole bed space there. So
Several different counties.
takes a lot of our time. So we're waiting on our grant monies to arrive on the vehicles. Once that gets in, we'll go ahead and drop the order on those. Hopefully, I did meet with the Stivers rep. I was down in Montgomery 2 weeks ago, and they're about 45 days out right now with getting them ordered and built. So that's good news. The company for the remote sensors, where we spent the opioid monies on, is scheduled to come this week. They've done a site survey. We sent some photographs and stuff, so hopefully we'll have them up and running just shortly. We're working, and we're in the very early stages of looking for some federal money from Senator Adderhoff's office. We met with Will Grice, met with him twice. He actually came to Lamar County and looked at it. And I submitted some paperwork Friday, kind of on a timeline that we want to do the rehabilitation of the jail. Of course, the first thing would be to make sure it's the roof's fixed completely, or we're not having water come in there. Then we move on to the heating and air conditioning, and going all the way through simple things. That jail was designed to have a commercial washer and dryer in it, and that wore out 20 years ago. I mean, we took that out under Terry Perkins' administration, so we're running commercial washers and dryers. And I want to go back through and I want to fix that. If we can get this money, let's fix the whole thing. That includes converting the cell blocks to dormitory living, heating and air conditioning, plumbing issues, try and get that fixed properly. It's going to be a long-term project.
You can talk to it.
I'm just throwing out $1 million just to start. So, but we'll have to do some engineering things with that. I've talked with Weathers just to try and get some working numbers to start presenting this. That's on the agenda for this week.
Just one thing on the mental health, and she brought up some of it is related to the opioids. Is that something, we have very limited things we can use the opioid settlement for? I mean, if it proves to be some mental health issue that does require some cost or whatever on our part, could that be tapped into? Have we checked into that?
I was just gonna say, I had actually talked to Judge West and the sheriff. We're gonna try to have us a little sit down and, because like I said, I went to a very good program, coach program. I think Auburn does it. Yeah. And they go into schools and try to, they have a K-4 program and then a 5 through.
Just something the opioid monies could be used for.
Yeah, and that's a totally free program, but something that maybe they're the front line.
Bigger metropolitan areas have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of the opioid monies towards crisis teams, crisis centers.
Yeah.
And maybe we could have a regional one here for our circuit or something. We honestly couldn't stand that up here.
Yeah.
Probably couldn't afford it by yourself. It'd be a team effort, but.
It'd be good if we could tap into those resources. We can't, they're so limited on what we can spend them for. And, if it's a problem that we're having, we need to, just my opinion, we're just trying to address some of it and use some of that funding for it. So,
their mental health is coming over. They're coming weekly now and trying to do counseling inside the jail itself. Of course, that helps me tremendously because I'm not having to transport them, but they're actually doing some inside the facility counseling and stuff.
Yeah, I can't say nothing bad about mental health we have here.
Northwest, you're talking about Northwest, Mr. Octavia, she's pretty good.
They do an excellent job.
Other than that, that's been a busy week, and I think this week we're going to work on this rehab program some more.
Numbers about the same.
52 this morning.
52. We're down a little bit.
We took 3 to prison this morning. They're on their way. Well, they should be down there by now.
We appreciate you, and this definitely going forward on the rehabbing that jail. I think that's very smart for us to get a plan together, because if not, we're going to be looking at ours is pretty old in comparison to most counties. So we definitely appreciate and commend you for trying to get something going on that.
Like I say, the concrete's fine. The bricks on the exterior, we don't need to replace that. But, that's a major, just the simple construction is a major cost in anything. They throw up Marion County, like $17 million.
Yeah, we don't want to have to go down that road. We appreciate you, Marty.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Sheriff. All right, Mr. Dylan Roberts, County Engineer.
So, countywide crew's still cutting. I think they've moved into District 1 at this point. We're still making good progress. Finally got the skid steer back. Had a little issues with it again. Also, we had talked about last meeting about striping Aberdeen Road. I guess their ears was burning. So they got up here. It started Thursday, and they're supposed to finish up. Probably going to be maybe Thursday or Friday. They're going to be back up here Wednesday to start back striping on it. They got to finish the center line, edge lines, and then the paper markers. That's about all I've got today. Glad I finally got up here.
We've already got compliments. They really proud to see it.
But I drove through there Thursday evening. They were doing a pretty good job.
I know we'll talk about it more at the work session, but did you get your spray truck back, or is it
Supposed to get it back Wednesday?
Wednesday.
We're going to try to start spraying Monday. Yeah. Originally, we were supposed to get it back more in January. Then we're supposed to get it back tomorrow. Now he's pushing me to Wednesday. So we'll have probably 2 people dedicated to that starting Monday.
Well, we'll discuss it more at work session, I guess.
That's right.
I appreciate what you done helping me on the beavers and stuff, and I don't get out of line now, because I got you some more lined up.
That's all right. That's all right. We've got plenty. That sounds good.
We're trapping them and putting them up north right now, Mitchell. We're trying to keep them out of line.
I believe that. I really do.
We all know that engineering office, it stays pretty busy, and we got a good one, and we appreciate what you do, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Me neither.
All
Just kidding.
All right, next we'll have the EMA director, Ms. Crystal Perkins. You got anything?
I just have something for the papers. I'll be doing the weather radio giveaway, March 3rd, 4th, and 5th. On the 3rd, I'll do Detroit from 9 to 12. Beaverton from 1 to 4. On the 4th, I'll do Vernon 9 to 12. Sologent 1 to 4. And on the 5th, Kennedy from 9 to 12. And Millport 1 to 4.
Appreciate you, Crystal. It's short but sweet, huh?
Thank you.
Ms. Audrey, county attorney, you have anything? Yeah.
Several months ago, Sheriff brought it to the commission's attention about the accident that happened with the game warden. Was it the game warden or
No,
sheriff deputy?
Stephen Robbins.
Okay.
Deputy.
In the line of scope of his duty, and the insurance denied the insurance claim. Y'all asked us to resolve that or help get resolution, and we were able to get out of court resolution. They sent a check. I think Ron brought it last week. So good
Yeah,
news.
we appreciate you.
Thank
Take care of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else? We'll go into our new business now. This is a approval for the reimbursement or toll bridges that our county commission sometimes has to travel, maybe taking equipment to be worked on. Is everybody aware of that? I'm sure you are if you're taking your equipment to CAT or somewhere like that.
Yeah, I'll speak to that real quick. The county-wide crew, most of the time was doing it. We kind of narrowed down to Class A operators now. We don't have as many, so. But I know all those that have been going over there, instead of having to make that long route back across 69 and back around through Stillman and stuff, which is, to me, creating hazards because of the traffic and the situation there. So it'd be best for us to take the toll road, but we've been just paying tolls out of pocket. And as you know, they went up a little bit on the tolls, and just going over there and back the other day, it was about $12 just one trip. So if you have to go back and get it, you're spending like $24. And out of pocket, that's getting to be, I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't mind doing it when it was $6 or $8 every once in a while, but it's becoming too regular. And I know our engineer and some of the employees have been paying out of pocket just for the convenience of it. So we wanted to make it a policy that that's a reimbursable expense as long as you bring receipts. And we want to start it from this fiscal year, just basically starting in this fiscal year. I don't know if there's any retroactive back to, the beginning in October, but if there is a receipt that goes back to them, we would cover it, but up till, past that, we can't, but from this year on, we'll take care of it.
October 1 of 25.
25 will be a new policy that we'll handle, if this passes.
Right.
And I'll make the motion that we do.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I think that's a wise thing. Okay, Mr. Johnny, we'll start with you. District reports.
We've just been fixing our turnouts and cleaning some ditches out, hauling a little gravel.
Mr. Mitchell.
Been grading some roads and hauling a lot of gravel and picking up some tires here and there, scrap tires.
Dave.
we've been building the roads up some of our washes, hauling some crushed, concrete and grading and on the north end.
How about you, Jeff?
We've been broke down. We haven't been able to do a whole lot, so I apologize to our folks in District 4, but I got a truck in the shop, the grader's in the shop, and the side hog tractor just got fixed, is back at the shop. So it seemed like Dylan has rubbed off on me or something there. But we're going around trying to cut some manually, some of the side roads, and trying to keep ditches and pipes cleaned out. And I do have a quick, as the legislative delegate, I have a quick report on it. We had 3 of these bills that current legislative that got through the system down there, Act 2026-49, and that's the subdivision. It really don't apply to Lamar County, but it's a subdivision law from some counties that are expanding real quickly. They had some issues with people trying to skirt that law, and this is supposed to fix that. So it'll begin October 1st. It'll be effective on October 1st this coming year, this next fiscal year. And then we had the streamlined process for county government vehicles. That was Act 2026-56. And that got passed, and Governor Ivey signed it. And also the one that handles the procurement process and procurement measures. We already had the procurement process in place, and we're talking about procurement cards, but this further outlines what can be used for the procurement process, and it got passed too. So our association works pretty diligently to protect us. Most of you know the SSUT suit was dropped, but there's also some legislation right now that David sent me that I think, from my understanding, kind of be dead on arrival, but they're also trying to attack the SSUT, other entities trying to get those funds. So we have to stay vigilant during the legislative session, or we liable to get something passed that affects our bottom line, and we don't need that. So I do appreciate the association and the confidence the commission puts in me being that legislative delegate, and I try to keep you informed. If you have any questions, y'all welcome to call me. David's doing a real good job keeping informed too and staying on top of bills, so I appreciate all the help I can get.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
I don't probably didn't even say it, did I? I'm sorry.
Credit card.
Said 49.
It's procurement. I'll get it here.
Yeah, 49 and 56.
And 57. Yeah, it was 2026-57. It was Representative Hill and Senator Lance Bell. But it was a streamlining. It's based for the procurement process that just kind of clarifies and sets some guidelines more easily understood when we use the process, which we still need to check on those procurement card things. I think we're still working on trying to do that, which would be helpful to our staff too.
Be a lot easier, in my opinion.
Yeah, it would be. We'll get to that point.
All right. Okay, this will be my final announcement on this. March the 5th through the 6th, the probate office will be closed. We are moving the driver's license and recording functions, and my new office will be here. That'll be on March the 5th through the 6th. We'll be closed due to, hopefully I can get some help moving.
Is that going to affect you March the 3rd going down for admin?
It won't. No, it won't. We're going to be working on it continually till that time, have things boxed up. We're still going to hold the records in the old building for now. Most of our local attorneys have means of access, and we'll have a good telephone number somebody can call if they need to do some research. There'll be no problem with that for now. March the 24th, through, which is a Tuesday, we have blocked this time off to maybe have some conversations about our building, the old courthouse building. We would like to invite the public that's interested to come March the 24th at 6 p.m. to the Judicial Center. And we would like to hear from the public. Participation is welcome from everybody and anybody.
We'll be presenting some facts and some numbers at that meeting. But we want the public to come and give us input on what our plan going forward, since it is the people's, courthouse and administrative office. We want to make sure you have an opportunity to give us your thoughts and ideas,
Questions, comments.
questions, comments, and clarify information that may be. There's a lot of rumors out there about different things, so we just like to be able to have that clarification.
And it will be a structured event. I hadn't really spoken to them, but there'll be time limits and stuff to where we can't just,
go crazy.
we'll have a structured setting, and hopefully we can all learn
You
and
put the time limits in there for me, not for the public.
move forward. And then the third announcement here, the commission and the commission office, and I think some of the other offices are planning on a trip to go for our ACCA County Day down at Montgomery on March 3rd. So we're looking forward to that, and maybe we can get to interact with some of our legislators, and of course Mr. Sonny Brasfield, the head of the ACCA, and all the other offices. Y'all can make your own contacts with whoever you want to see down there. But we plan on going on March 3rd, which I'm looking forward to. Is there anything else that needs to be addressed this morning? If not, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? We are adjourned.